My hope for this intro was to create a timeline of the War of 1812. But after researching and seeing the number of battles from Michigan's Fort Mackinac all the way south to New Orleans, I knew this was an impossibility. In a nutshell, there are two reasons America declared war against Britain. The first reason being Britain started limiting American trade with Europe. And the second, Britain took up the practice of impressing into service or kidnapping seamen of American merchant vessels to replenish crews of their undermanned warships. The following pictures are events before and after my ancestors' experience for context. Welcome to Diggin with Deej and my Tuesday night treasure hunting live stream. Tonight is another episode of my Ancestors Letters series this summer. So if you've missed an episode, never fear. They are always available for replay. So grab your beverage of choice and sit back and enjoy the show that will begin in approximately 1 minute. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Diggin with Deej. How's everybody doing? So let me scroll back. The first one in my house was Roman with Ringo, who was the winner of the metal detector last week. So welcome, Roaming with Ringo. Javier, longtime subscriber, second one in the house. Iron Antler Adventures. Welcome back. Then we have Steve, Starry's Lost and Found, and also a member. Welcome back, Steve. Let's see. Then next was Teresa, the Treasure Hunter. Welcome, Teresa. Let's see. Gary's metal detecting. Welcome back, Gary. David Alfonsetti. Welcome back, David. Teresa is also a member, by the way. Let's see. Then Nancy, Ambient Girl Digs, one of my moderators. And I think Nancy had a membership too. Oh, maybe not. It might have expired. I think it was a gift membership. Let's see. Mark Thomas, a member and a moderator. Still scrolling. Let's see. Great Finds. Welcome back, Great Finds. Let's see. The Bud Files. Welcome back, Bud Files. I think it said Gary's metal detecting already, but in case I didn't, welcome back, Gary. Hope you're feeling better. Joy Carcueva. Did I pronounce that right? Welcome, Joy. Rob of FL Thunder, Digging with Rob. Welcome, Rob. He has a live stream on Sundays, just like Starry's Lost and Found has a live stream as well on Sunday. Whoop. Mississippi Mary detecting. Welcome back, Mary. Dennis of DF Digger. Welcome back, Dennis. The other side of the boat. Welcome back. Let's see. And I have a visitor. You hear me talking, you think I'm talking to you. Patty Disharoon. Welcome back, Patty. Still scrolling. Bonnie of Whispers in the Dirt. Welcome back, Bonnie. And I think I'm caught up. So if somehow I've missed you in the chat, please don't be offended. It's not intentional. There's Julie of Banshee Mining. Welcome back, Julie, and a member. Cynthia Swearingen. We have a member and a moderator. 18 in my house. Goodness gracious. That's great. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to start out real quick. I didn't do a whole lot last week. My car. I had car troubles again. I needed a new battery. We know it wasn't the alternator because I replaced that last fall. But they had to order it, and just like everything else since COVID, everything has to be ordered and takes time to get there. But I have a new battery in the car, so I'm ready to go for this weekend. Monday, I watched Ambient Girl Digs. Nancy, who's one of my moderators in the chat, she has a live stream on Monday nights at 7 o'clock. And we had some interesting items to try to decipher of what they were. So she has a great show. So if you have never been to one of Nancy's live streams, be sure to check it out. Monday night at 7. After that, we went over to Spreaker.com for Gypsy and Amanda Digger DeGaz's podcast, Treasure Vortex, and that. And their guests were the people in charge of the Digstock event. So that, and they gave away a Digstock ticket last night. I tried to share it on social media and YouTube so that everybody could get in on it, and you'll never guess who won the ticket, folks. Who wins all the time on Audra's? Emily won the ticket. So that was fun. Hi, John Digologist. Welcome back. Let's see if I've missed anybody else. Just back up a little bit and look. I don't see. Oh, I think I saw Ringo in here. Pop back in. Ringo, have you left on vacation yet? There's Ringo Anzar, who is a friend of Jacob, Chaos Divers. So, Ringo, is it your boat that Jacob's using right now? I can't remember, but I think maybe. So, as I said last week, we have a lot of people on our world-class treasure hunters prayer list. So I'll get through them quickly here. If any of these people have not been able to put a new video up, even if you've watched everything, go and rewatch a video and put in another comment, letting them know that you're thinking of them. It might brighten their day. Okay? So, Susie Q96 has an appointment for a second opinion on her autoimmune disorder, because they cannot do surgery because the growth behind her eye, it's not cancer, but it's wrapped around the optic nerve. So, in the first opinion she got, they wanted to take her off the medication that's been helping her so much to put her on medication for the eye, which would basically cripple her if she wasn't on the other medication she's on. So she's going for a second opinion with a different doctor at a hospital in North Carolina, I think. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Pull tab Pam, my digging buddy who is fighting cancer, keep her in your thoughts and prayers. I have not heard from her in almost a week and that. So I don't know. I keep sending her pictures a chance to keep her spirits up. Jeff from Austria lost his son. His son passed away 3 or 4 weeks ago. Don, my digging buddy in Ohio of Detection Connection, lost his mom about a month ago, and he lost his uncle 2 weeks ago, I think. Teresa the treasure hunter had a family loss. Nugget Shooterette, Tammy had a family loss. Paul of American Woodland Relics, his best friend in the world is his cousin Tommy, who is in the hospital. So please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Hunter GT was rushed to the hospital last Tuesday. I haven't heard any new information about him. So, thank you, Ringo. Jimmy Cloak, I don't know if he had knee surgery or not, but I know he was going to the doctor for knee troubles, and he and his wife have had multiple family losses. Let's see. Cynthia, is Austrian Stacker still ill? Have you heard anything? And keep Susie Q96's brother and his family in your thoughts and prayers. They were battling COVID 2 weeks ago. SWFL, detecting or treasure hunting, needs our prayers for his wife. Sean in the pack was dealing with illness. I don't know if it was COVID or not. Outdoorsy Gal O is doing better, Chrissy. And she and Johnny were at opposite ends of the house so that he wouldn't get the vid. And Johnny caught it. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers, please. Mud Swat's cousin needs our prayers. Maria Tobin, the haunted Hellcat, lost her daughter 2 weeks ago, I think. Mark the Berg Hunter was in the hospital last week. They sent him home. As far as I know, he's still home. But he said he was very weak. So he got some answers and some things they didn't get answers on. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. David Carlisle is looking at an upcoming surgery. Julie, you want to put that link in the chat? Jonathan Friend, who is a member of the prospecting family, lost his dad. And his dad's dying wish was to be buried in a military cemetery. Excuse me. Now, I never in my wildest dreams thought it would cost this much. Do you know that it costs $7,000 for a military funeral in a military cemetery? So there is a GoFundMe set up to try to help him with his father's funeral expenses. Here we go. Ragweed is terrible right now. Put that over there. There. Julie put the link to the GoFundMe for Jonathan in the chat. Gary of Gary's Metal Detecting just had surgery. He had orthoscopic surgery, I believe, on his knee. He's in the chat. He says he's doing pretty good. Take it easy, Gary. One day at a time. Bill Papa Rouse, What's in the Dirt, is looking at upcoming surgery. Emmy of PDX Paranormal was rushed to the hospital last week. She's home. Keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And Dawn of Can You Dig It, Dawn and Shelley had some illness, and she's getting better. Oh, this always happens. During hold on one second, folks. There. You didn't have to listen to me blow my nose. So those are the world-class treasure hunters on the prayer list for this week. So our topic tonight, see if I've missed anybody in the chat. I don't see anybody new. 15 in the house. Is on, I had already done a live stream on the Siege of Fort Erie. And I had just a couple of letters that were sent home from two different people, I think, two different ancestors. I think I did that earlier this spring. And for some reason, I think because this letter that I have was written to an editor of a newspaper by my ancestor, Jason Smith, okay? And it was his account of his service in the War of 1812. A little more detailed than what the history books. So the letter appears to have been written in the 1850s. So to give you an idea, the War of 1812 lasted many years. Okay. Here's a quick, well, I don't know how quick it's going to be, but I'm going to try to make it quick. I have a timeline I've written down to give you an idea of all the battles. March 4th, 1809, President James Madison is inaugurated. November 4th, 1811, the War Congress convenes. On November 7th, 1811, was the Battle of Tippecanoe. June 18th, 1812, the U.S. declared war on Great Britain. June through August were the Baltimore riots, which I will probably do a history, have that as a topic of history sometime in the future. Dawn is back in the hospital? Oh, no. Keep Dawn of Can You Dig It, Dawn and Shelley in your thoughts and prayers. Pray for guidance for her doctors. Wow. Let's see. So June through August of 1812 were the Baltimore riots, Baltimore, Maryland riots. June 1st, 1812, the U.S. doubles customs duties. Okay, so you got to remember, we gained independence in 1776 from Great Britain. Well, obviously, they weren't happy about that. And so they started trying to control us in other ways. And one of the ways they tried to control us was limiting what we could import to their country, sell in their country, bring it across the ocean. Hi, Jackie Smith's metal detecting videos. She's from across the pond. How are you, Jackie? Jackie, 40 more days and I will be in the Colchester area. Welcome, Jackie. Mark the Berg Hunter, what are you doing? You're supposed to be resting, dude. I can never remember in which year the War of 1812 started. It started in 1812. Okay, so we did things to try to gain back control. They kept doing things like taxing tea more than anything else. They were doing all these things, and that's what caused the Revolutionary War. They kept upping the taxes on things that Americans used more than Brits. So July 1st, 1812, the U.S. doubled the customs duties for their products coming to us. Okay? July 12th, General William Hull enters Canada. July 17th, Fort Michilimackinac. I can't ever say that word. Mackinac, which is Fort Mackinac, surrenders to the British. July 19th, the Battle of Sackett's Harbor. August 16th, 15th, Fort Dearborn Massacre. That was near me. That was Dearborn, Fort Dearborn is near Detroit. August 16th, General William Hull surrenders to General Isaac Brock at Detroit. August 19th, the Constitution defeats the HMS Guerriere. So HMS means Her Majesty's ship. So we were victorious on that battle. October 13th of 1812, Battle of Queenston Heights. October 18th, 1812, Wasp defeats the HMS Frolic. October 25th, the United States defeats the HMS Macedonian. Let's see. November 1862, Madison wins re-election. And the British created a blockade in South Carolina and Georgia to try to prevent provisions from coming in by ship. Okay. November 23rd, 1812, Americans retreat from eastern Canada. November 27th, the Americans attack the outer positions at Fort Erie. That's still 1812, okay? We go back to Fort Erie. December 26th, Great Britain announces blockade of Chesapeake and Delaware Bays, okay? New England. December 29th, the Constitution defeats the HMS Java. Go on to 1813. So we've already gone through a whole year there. September 10th, 1813, the Battle of Lake Erie. September 27th, Harrison lands in Canada. October 5th, Battle of the Thames. October 16th through 19th, Battle of Leipzig. The 25th through the 26th, Battle of Chautauqua. November 3rd, the Battle of Tallahatchie. November 4th, Great Britain offers U.S. direct peace negotiations, or what they thought was a negotiation. Okay, November 9th, Battle of Talladega. November 11th, Battle of Chrysler's Farm. November 16th, British lengthened blockade to all mid and southern states. December 10th, Fort George evacuated and Newark, New York burned by Americans. Okay. They had people of this village of Newark, New York. They gave them, I don't know how much notice, to remove their belongings and their possessions, and they burned the town to the ground so that the British couldn't. It was a strategic spot, so they couldn't take control. Can you imagine? You know, it makes me wonder, did our government repay them for the loss of their homes? Probably not. Let's see. December 17th, U.S. enacts embargo. The 18th, Fort Niagara is occupied by the British. December 19th through 31st, Lewiston, Fort Schlosser, I don't know how to say that, Black Rock, and Buffalo were destroyed by the British. They burned Buffalo. The village of Buffalo was burned to the ground. January 22nd through 24th, Battle of Imukfa. And another one that I can't even pronounce. They're Indian names. March 27th, 28th, Battle of Horseshoe Bend. And the HMS Phoebe and the HMS Cherub defeat the Essex. April 14th, U.S. repeals embargo and non-importation law. The 20th, HMS Orpheus defeats the Frolic. So we're talking years of battles. Years. April 25th through May 30th, British increased blockade to include New England. April 29th, the Peacock defeats the HMS Epervier. June 28th, the Wasp defeats the HMS Reindeer. I never knew there was a battleship called the Reindeer. July through September of 1814, British occupy eastern Maine. Okay, I didn't know that. July 3rd, Americans capture Fort Erie. July 5th, the Battle of Chippewa in Savannah, Georgia. July 25th, the Battle of Lundy's Lane, which my family member fought in that battle. August 14th, U.S. public credit collapses and U.S. banks suspend special payments. It's a wonder. It's a wonder we're the United States after everything they went through to stay free. August 8th, peace negotiations begin in Ghent. August 9th, the Creeks, okay, they mean the Creek Indians or Native Americans, sign a treaty at Fort Jackson, ceding much of their land. August 13th through September 21st, the Siege of Fort Erie. We go back and have another battle there. August 14th, British occupy Pensacola, Florida. August 15th, the Battle of Fort Erie. The 19th, British land by Benedict, Maryland. This is just before they marched into Washington and burned Washington. 24th, Battle of Bladensburg, Maryland. That's just north of Washington, D.C. 24th and 25th of August, 1814, British burn Washington. September 11th. This is why dig stock in upstate New York is so important. why we find War of 1812. Battle of Lake Champlain and Plattsburgh. November 5th, Americans evacuate Fort Erie. Again, the last battle was the Battle of New Orleans, or New Orleans, however you want to say it. Now, it took 2 months after the Treaty of Ghent was signed, Christmas Eve in 2014. It took almost 2 months for word to get to the United States that the war was over. To get to the British soldiers, our soldiers, nobody knew. So I believe it was January 8th, 1815 was the last battle of the War of 1812, and that was the Battle of New Orleans, and we were victorious. I think it's Andrew Johnson that's so famous, a famous officer, and part of the reason why he was elected a president at one point. So let me quick check. Nightmare, welcome. Welcome back. See if I missed anybody else. Bill Papa Rouse, what's in the dirt? And a member. Welcome back, Bill. Let me scroll, see if I've missed anybody else. Grandma Kelly's Clean Life, Clean Living. Welcome. Welcome back. And she's also a member. Let's see. Olin Borden, also a member. Welcome back. And I think I'm caught up. 14 in the house. So this was a long war for that day and age. Okay? So this is a letter that my ancestor, Jason Smith, wrote to a newspaper, and it doesn't say what newspaper. It just says, written for the brother Jonathan by Jason Smith, an American volunteer in the War of 1812. And it's titled The Siege of Fort Erie. This memorable fortress stands on the shore of Lake Erie, on the Canada side, nearly opposite Buffalo. It is on a level plain, but little elevated above the surface of the lake, near a smooth, rocky shore, easy of access. The writer of these sketches was one of Porter's volunteers, and shared largely in the hardships of and perils of that sanguinary campaign. His principal object in writing is to show the young men of the present day what hardships, sufferings, and privations those of the previous generation were willing to undergo to maintain the injured rights of their beloved country. It is not my purpose, Mr. Editor, to give a general account of that siege, which can be seen and read at any time in history, but to narrate such little incidents as came under my own observation, which I think will be interesting to your readers. Our corps was not composed of foreigners, nor of the fag end of society, as is the case with our present standing army, but were the bone and sinew of the country. Enterprising young men, the sons of farmers and mechanics, and those of maturer years, whose indignation had been aroused by the wanton destruction of property on the Niagara frontier and the burning of Buffalo the winter before. In the latter part of June 1814, 19 of us, myself but 18 years old, collected from a sparely settled neighborhood, left our peaceful homes, many of them never to return. under Lieutenant Thomas W. Roosevelt and joined the company commanded by Captain William Hooper at West Cayuga. This is in New York. From thence we marched to Batavia, where we joined the regiment under Colonel Hugh W. Dobbin. While celebrating our nation's birthday at that place, an express arrived and informed us that the army had crossed, taken Fort Erie, and required our presence. We set out on a forced march, reaching Buffalo the next day, and drew our arms from the stone jail, the only building which had escaped the torch of the ruthless invaders, and which was then used as an arsenal. Buffalo was a sorry-looking place, a mere heap of ruins. In some instances, charred and blackened frames of wood buildings were still standing, and the inhabitants had erected shanties of boards in their cellars to protect them from the inclemency of the weather during the winter. We pitched our tents for the night at what was called the Cold Spring. There we heard the Battle of Chippewa. There was a continual roar of small arms above, while every few seconds the heavy booming of the artillery was heard. On the morning of 6 July, we crossed the river at Black Rock and joined the army at Chippewa. On our way down, we saw several boats ascending the river loaded with provisions and the wounded from both armies. The memorable Battle of Lundy's Lane was fought on the evening of the 25th, in which our brigade acted a conspicuous part. We formed the left wing, which brought us in contact with the enemy's right, composed in part of the Royal Scots, which the last picture of my intro is the Royal Scots. Those are reenactors, a picture of reenactors, okay? They had very colorful uniforms. The flower of the British Army. When we were brought into action, the British were drawn up along the center of the road leading to Burlington Heights, called Lundy's Lane, which lay on top of a beautiful ridge that sloped off both ways. In consequence of their elevated position, most of their bullets passed over our heads. We took deliberate aim at the streak of fire caused by the flash of their guns. Our fire became so galling that they faltered and fell back. An order was given for the left wing to be thrown forward and form an obtuse angle with the center. This order was promptly executed, and in our impetuosity, our line became somewhat broken and irregular. We came in contact with a body of men who appeared to be in confusion. Loud and vociferous voices were heard, some appearing to be throwing down their arms, as if in a state of mutiny or in the act of surrendering. Our officers were at a loss to determine whether they were friends or foes. In order to ascertain the fact, one of them called out, "Stand your ground." A harsh voice in the broad Scotch dialect responded, "We will not retreat. We're the Royal Scots." This struck a panic on our colonel, who gave the following order: "Fall back and form a line." On this, the enemy railed and poured a destructive fire upon us. Our captain and several of the rank and file were cut down. We returned the compliment, and they retreated down the hill, leaving us in peaceful possession of that part of the battleground. Although a desperate charge was afterwards made by Colonel Miller on the British artillery on the center, after that, severe conflict, the shattered remains of our army fell back upon Fort Erie, the only place of safety of which we could avail ourselves, the enemy not giving us time nor opportunity to recross the river. Wow. See if I've missed anybody else. Ed, flash in your pan, welcome. Still scrolling. Two Brothers Treasures, welcome, guys. Robert Hunter Collison, welcome from across the pond. Okay. Okay. The British followed. Okay. So they didn't have the opportunity to get back across the river and ended up taking, shelter at Fort Erie. The British followed, but with caution. They had either overrated our numbers or, having been so roughly handled at Chipaway and Bridgewater, they had learned to respect American valor. Had they pressed upon us and attacked us in front and rear, they might have annihilated our little army, the old fort being too small to afford much protection. They came up about the 1st of August and gave us a few random shots from the heaviest field pieces, but soon fell back to a proper distance and commenced entrenching themselves and preparing for a regular siege. Nor were our troops idle. We wrought incessantly, day and night, in extending and strengthening our lines. Our engineers laid out the ground with great skill and judgment. Towson's battery was a natural sand hillock, which they improved and mounted cannon on, and connected that and the old stone fort by parapet breastworks, enclosing about 15 acres of ground. These were 2 ditches dug on the outside, and we were further protected by abutters. I'm not sure what that is. The enemy, having brought their works to a sufficient state of forwardness, on the morning of the 13th of August, commenced a heavy cannonade, which was briskly returned. On the evening of the 14th, while we were on parade, a shell which had been thrown at us lodged in one of our ammunition wagons, which blew up with a loud report, and was answered by 3 cheers from the enemy. General Gaines rode along our line with a smile on his countenance and told us we might expect an attack that night, for the British thought they had blown up our magazine, but that we had powder enough left. Every preparation was made that could be for so short a period. At least half our troops were kept at their posts. Towards morning, I was standing at the breastwork with loaded musket and fixed bayonet. A tremendous roar of cannon suddenly burst from Towson's battery. The fire streamed from our long 18s, which made a magnificent appearance in the extreme darkness of the night. So vivid and glowing was it that the British jokingly called it the Yankee Lighthouse. Their mode of attack was to approach silently, receive the fire from our pickets, follow them in, and then carry our works by the bayonet. But our troops were not caught napping. The British advanced in 2 heavy columns. One assailed the battery, and the other attempted to wade round it in the shoal water of the lake. So the shallow water in the lake. Lake Erie, although the outer ones had to go breast deep in water. Our well-manned cannon, loaded with grape and canister shot, cut dreadful avenues through their advancing columns. They were repulsed with great slaughter after making several unsuccessful charges. About that time, a furious attack was made on the old fort and the Douglas Battery. They approached with scaling ladders, and after several unsuccessful efforts, finally succeeded in gaining the summit of our principal bastion, on which was mounted 4 pieces of heavy ordnance, which they had actually turned within the fort upon our men. So they got to the walls of the fort, got a hold of the cannons, and turned them around, facing our soldiers in the fort. The assailants, exasperated almost to madness by such obstinate resistance, had frequently given the order to give the dang Yankees rascals no quarter. A large body of Indians were stationed in front of our parapet to rush in upon us as soon as the British regulars had silenced the principal batteries, to assist in the general massacre. Now, Britain made friends with the Indians, and so the Indians were helping them fight us. A loud shout of exultation rang out through the ranks of the assailants and was responded to by a wild and terrific yell from the savage hordes. All was apparently lost, and we had no alternative left but to sell our lives as dearly as possible. The next moment, we expected to see the infuriated savages advancing to force their way over our parapets, and we nerved ourselves up for a most dreadful conflict of steel to steel, the last struggle for life, when our attention was suddenly arrested by a tremendous explosion. A column of smoke and flame mingled with rubbish ascended to a great height in the air, in which I could distinctly see cannon plank from the platform and the form of human beings, their cartridges igniting and spangling out in every direction. Seldom does a scene so awfully sublime salute the senses of mortal beings. The ground trembled beneath our feet, and the descending ruins were scattered about us. Those of us who knew not the cause supposed that the British had blown up our principal magazine and that all was over with us. But our apprehensions were soon relieved by the joyful shout of victory, victory, which echoed through the fort. The firing ceased, and our grateful thanks ascended to God for such unexpected deliverance. Hi, Ram Detecting. Hi, Mark. Welcome back. Hi, Paul, American Woodland Relics. I think that's all. Only ones I missed. Okay. The enemy on the bastion, and this can be verified through a book called Brown's History, were thrown high into the air with their cartouche boxes full of fixed ammunition, exploding at every point of elevation, exhibiting a spectacle of awful grandeur never before surpassed. Nearly 200 unfortunate beings were blown into eternity, each of whom described in his course a blazing parabola. No description can reach the tremendous reality of this shocking catastrophe. Everything conspired to give the menacing danger the utmost of its appalling influence. The darkness of the night, the unknown effect of the explosion, the incipient success of the enemy, his vastly superior numbers, his well-known intentions to give no quarter, the unsuccessful attempt to regain the bastion, and the impossibility of escape left nothing in perspective to found in expiring hope. It is in scenes like this that the brave man acquires additional strength from the terrors of surrounding objects. Even the coward, if he resists the onset, forgets the weakness of his nature and, electrified by magic sympathy, rises superior to himself. It is in this school of fortitude that heroes are born to distinction, that the long and glorious list of our military and naval commanders who have been trained to deeds of noble achievements. Some of the enemy survived this awful explosion, even after having lost both legs and arms. So that's the first half of this letter. I'm going to do the second half next week. But this was a letter that my ancestor, Jason Smith, sent to an editor. It doesn't say what editor, which paper. So I'm not sure which paper it was. But he sent it to this letter to an editor of a paper in hopes that it would show the younger generation, have them be more supportive and understanding what the older generation went through for our freedom of our country. There's Scott and Kimmy from across the pond, Dirt Diggers UK. Welcome, Scott. Welcome back. So, some crazy stuff, you guys. Some crazy stuff went on. Things that you can't even imagine. I mean, you hear the words and you can't imagine the carnage that they must have witnessed. It's just crazy. So let's give away a humongous sticker pack. I've been trying to do as many. I'm trying not to do the same stickers every week. Some of them might be the same only because I only have so many to pick from. So if you are a treasure hunting channel and you want to send me your stickers, you will be shouted out on my video. Whoever wins the sticker pack will be shouted out on my community page, and everybody that sent stickers that were in that sticker pack will be shouted out on the community page. I've started doing that the last couple weeks. So we got a humongous sticker pack this week. Jersey History Hunter. Boom. Banshee Mining, who's in the chat. Boom. Can You Dig It? Dawn and Shelley. Boom. Canadian Relic Recon. Boom. Illinois Digger. Boom. Official Gold Digger. Boom. Beeping with Beppe. Boom. Marty is nuts about digging. Boom. The Metal Detecting Channel. Boom. Madison, Maine Metal Detecting. Boom. MS Detectorists. Boom. Up North Diggers. Michigan Digger. Boom. Starry's Lost and Found. Boom. Team Clambake. And boom. Metal Detecting with Pete. And boom. My Technetics Metal Detecting sticker. So there's like 15, I think. 15 or more stickers in this sticker pack. So I need you to put in the chat hashtag Fort, F-O-R-T. Nancy, you want to put that in the chat? F-O-R-T. What's going on with my... Oh, there. It just moved. I don't know if Nancy's still in here. Either Nancy or... Oh, yeah. F-O-R-T. Capitalize, please. Okay. And let's go in and share. So you have to be willing to share your full name and your mailing address. Oh, Michigan Gem's in my house. Hi, Joe. Okay. If you want to be part of this giveaway, if you want a chance. And I will mail these stickers anywhere in the world. Anybody can enter. Okay. So let's see how many we got so far. So far, we only have 8 entries. Put hashtag Fort, F-O-R-T, please, in the chat. Okay. Trying to see if I've missed anybody in here. I said hi to Bill. All right, so get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Ah, Ed, flash in your pan. Woohoo! Congratulations, Ed. Very cool. Very cool. So, Ed, I think I got your address. Let me stop sharing. Okay, what time is it? It is 6:28. Okay. So, those of you who have memberships, last night I released I released the early release video for Ruby tiered members last night. So be sure to check that out. It's a metal detecting video. It'll be available until Thursday at noon, and then I need to schedule it for the premiere on Friday. So we got that done. Because I do not want to run behind tonight, because it is a big night tonight. We got a lot going on. So the next one in line, live streaming, is Share the Love Stream, Audra of Jersey History Hunter, and her co-host Bobby Buddha of Underground Buddha. Tonight is their 1-year anniversary of Audra and Bobby live streaming together. And it's a night filled with giveaways and fun, folks. And it starts at 7 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Next in line is Ed, Flash in Your Pan. Your hosts are Ed, Dano, and Jesse. There's my alarm. I set an alarm so I wouldn't run over. And that begins at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. Pacific. Tonight, their guest is Adventure Gold. And somebody... No, I thought I got a private message. Okay, then after Ed is Bill Papa Rouse, What's in the Dirt? Your hosts are Bill and his co-host Rob FL Thunder, who was in the chat earlier. And so they live stream at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, and 5:30 Pacific, I believe. Is that right, Bill? Then we have on Wednesday nights, we have Underground Buddha, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. And I did not see a schedule of what the live stream, what the topic was going to be. So just stay tuned for Underground Buddha. Thursday is Can You Dig It, Dawn and Shelley at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday, Audra releases her video at 5:30, her premiere at 5:30. Mine is at 6 Eastern Standard Time. And then M.A. Lyman 24, his is at 7, I believe, on Friday night, Eastern Standard Time. Let's see, Saturday, and then at 8 o'clock on Friday, Eastern Standard Time, is Paul of American Woodland Relics live stream. His co-host is Jonathan of Rivendell Coins and Antiquities for their live stream called What's Your Grade? And they had a fabulous show last Friday night. A coin that Audra dug and I won on Audra's stream. I had her give it to Paul so that they could grade it and that. So very interesting. I'm learning a lot watching this. Let's see. Then Saturday, Dennis DF Digger. I think Dennis, you stream. Your premiere is at 6:45, I believe, and then Madison Maines is at 7:15, I think. I hope I have those times right. Hi, Keep Digging Metal Detecting. Welcome back. Another member. Yeah. Paul's live stream last Friday went 2 hours. That's how much we enjoyed it. It was very fun. Then M.A. Lyman 24 is at 7:30, I think. 7:30 or 8 is live streaming coin roll hunting. DF Digger says 6:30 to 7:30. Madison or Main Saturday digs. 4 channels. Okay. Put that up there. So then at 8 o'clock is Clark's Cove Detecting live streams. Then wait, they might be off for a week or two. I think they went on vacation. Don't quote me on that. Then 9 p.m. Saturday nights is JP Lawns and More. JP's Bar. Then on Sunday, I start out my Sunday morning with my cup of coffee. Starry's Lost and Found live streams at 9 a.m. and Rob FL Thunder streams at 9 a.m. So what I do is I watch Starry's Lost and Found from 9 until 10, and then we do a raid from Starry's over to Rob FL Thunder. And then Rob streams until it's time for Marlon Mayer Videos to come on to stream at 11:30. And I watch all of these when I'm not doing anything with my family. Mayer Videos, it's Marlon, sometimes Aurora, and his co-host is Tripwire of Straight Up Metal Detecting. That's on Sunday. Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific is The Asylum with Mark Miller from the gold prospecting community in that. And then on Monday nights, there's Nancy, Ambient Girl Digs at 7 o'clock. There's the hashtag Monday Digs crew. I think Gary's Metal Detecting is part of that crew who's in the house. Hi, Jim Salerno. Welcome. Welcome to Digging with Deej. And that you can check Ohio River History's community page for the itinerary of Monday nights with his group of people. So I hope you guys are enjoying these letters. Gives us a little bit more insight of what they went through. The other half of this humongous letter to this editor will be next Tuesday. And we have a metal detecting video Friday. And I am going on an adventure Saturday, taking my grandson and his girlfriend with me for a day trip. So that should be a lot of fun. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for the super chat, Mark. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody taking their time in summer, just before school starts to be here. That means a lot to me. So let's go over and do a Deej raid over at JHH. You have plenty of time for, intermission between our two, because it's going to be such a busy night of giveaways over at Audra's. And I'll give you a hint, folks. The early bird gets the worm. Get my drift. See you over at Audra's. Good night, all. Thank you to my moderators, too, and members.